We are live now, sir.
Hari Om. Namaste to all. Prostrating at the lotus feet of Brahmanishta Sadguru Shrotriya Sri Virajeshwara Saraswati on behalf of all of us and the entire Guru Parampara. With the Mangalacharana Shloka, today's discourse on Viveka Jodamani will continue. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Sadashivasamarambham Shri Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Varyantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakruto Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranadosmiham Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya Harihi Om. Last time, the verse, the shloka number, I think 188, it was stopped in the Viveka Chudamani. So from today onwards, the shloka or the verse number 189, the Vyakhyana will continue or the discourse will continue based on the Bhashyam of Mahaswami. Repeatedly it is being said that Acharya is negating all that is Anatman, specifically giving the advice to the highest Uttam Adhikari Mumukshu Jijnasu that look, even this Vijnanamaya Kosha, commonly called as our Buddhi or intellect, even that is not Atman or Paramatma Vastu or Atma Vastu. Because Buddhi also is a Jada. It only reflects the Parama Chaitanya. That is, it reflects the consciousness of Atma Vastu, just like the moon being a satellite, being a non-radiating object in the sky, it illuminates itself and also the earth because of the sunlight falling on the moon. So that was the point. So we continue with that, and Acharya continues with that to make it very clear. Here, in the next shloka, number of times earlier and also in the future shlokas, sometimes people do question me on small things because probably they have not understood correctly the meaning of certain Vedantic words or they might have forgot. See, one word, there are two words really confusing for some of us, not all. See, the word Upadhi in Vedanta, Upadhi, please remember, Upadhi is used constantly in Vedanta. What does it actually mean for us in the year 2021? All highest Vedantic words. Upadhi in short, in simple means superimposition. See, you are imposing some other knowledge on already what is existing by wrong identification. Superimposition means in simple, see, the body is there. For example, I am man, I say. I say, I am man, understood point. I say, I am male human being. See, what is this man and male human being words? I am identifying that I am the human being first. I am identifying that I am a male human being, Purusha, not the female, not Stri. Nanu Purusha anta ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ, ಮಹಿಳೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಜವಾದ ನಾನು ಆತ್ಮವಸ್ತು ನಾನಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೆ ನಾನು ಮರೆತು ಅಜ್ಞಾನದಿಂದ ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪುರುಷ, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯ, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ತ್ರೀ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದು ನಿಜ ಅಲ್ಲವೋ ಅದನ್ನ ಆತ್ಮನ ಮೇಲೆ ಆರೋಪಿತಗೊಳಿಸುವಂಥದ್ದು ವಸ್ತು ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಶಬ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಉಪಾಧಿ. ಸೊ ದ ವರ್ಡ್ ಉಪಾಧಿ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸೂಪರ್ ಇಂಪೋಸಿಂಗ್ the word that I am the man, I am the male, I am not the female. All these words are upadhis on my real nature, reality. So I am superimposing on my own reality, which I don't know, I have forgotten. My reality is Atmavastu, Brahma Padartha. I am Parama Chaitanya. I am supreme consciousness. That I don't know. All that I say, I am man. And I will say, look, that is an animal. So the word animal is a upadhi. I am a man is a upadhi, superimposition. Please remember the word upadhi. Wrong, in other words, wrong identification, false identification. See, these are the words in Vedanta. Similarly, another word is used, adhyasa. Upadhi and adhyasa. In reality, both words mean the same thing, but there is a difference. What is adhyasa? Adhyasa means in simple, short, simplest English, which we can understand. Adhyasa means ajnana, false identification. False identification, wrong identification, ajnana, ignorance, that is adhyasa. So please remember some of these words in your mind correctly, so that you will follow the meaning of the shlokas very clearly by the grace of the Guru, Sadguru. योऽयं विज्ञानमयः प्राणेषु हृदि स्फुरत्ययं ज्योतिः कूटस्थः सन्नात्मा कर्ता भोक्ता भवत्युपाधिस्थः। योऽयं विज्ञानमयः प्राणेषु हृदि स्फुरत्ययं ज्योतिः कूटस्थः सन्नात्मा कर्ता भोक्ता भवत्युपाधिस्थः. Last line, if it is split correctly, कूटस्थः सन आत्मा, सन प्लस आत्मा, सन आत्मा, कर्ता भोक्ता भवत्युपाधिस्थः. Bhavat-upadistah, if you split and understand, bhavati plus upadistah. So the key phrase in the shloka is ayam atma kutastah san. Please remember, in this shloka I am splitting and taking the key words. Ayam atma kutastah san. San means even though, in spite of. I am this Atma, this Parama Chaitanya, this Supreme Chaitanya radiating in the body and everywhere in the universe. So this Atma Vastu, I am Atma, Kutastha San. Even though it is eternal, it is present, omnipresent, all the time, without change, avikari, without change, eternal, Nishkriya, absolutely motionless in real sense. Nishkriya, Nishkala, Niranjana, Shuddha, Buddha, Nitya, Atma Swarupa. Even though Kutastha San, even though it is in its own grandeur, as a pure witness, it is there in our heart, radiating itself. Kutastha, without showing any attributes. ಕೂಟಸ್ಥ ವರ್ಡ್ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಟಸ್ಥ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಳುಗಳನ್ನ, ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಅಥವಾ ಗೋಧಿ, ಜೋಳವನ್ನ ಬೀಸೋ ಕಲ್ಲು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಭಾಗದ ಕಲ್ಲು ಒಂದೇ ತರ ಶಾಶ್ವತವಾಗಿ ಸ್ಥಿರವಾಗಿ ನಿಂತಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಕಲ್ಲು ಮಾತ್ರ ಸುತ್ತುತ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಳು ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಕಲ್ಲನ್ನ ರಭಸವಾಗಿ ಬೀಸಿದ್ರೆ ಕಾಳು ಪುಡಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಕಲ್ಲು ಸುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಕಲ್ಲು ಮಾತ್ರ ಸುತ್ತತ್ತೆ. ನಿಮಗೆ ನೆನಪಿರಬಹುದು, ಬೀಸೋ ಕಲ್ಲು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಯಾವ ಕೆಲಸವೂ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ನಿರಾಲಂಬವಾಗಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯ ಚಲನೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಅಡಿಗಲ್ಲು, ಅದು ಕೂಟಸ್ಥ. ಸೊ ದ ಕೂಟಸ್ಥ ವರ್ಡ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್, ಆಸ್ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ, in our olden days in India, you remember, they had this stone grinding machine for grinding the rice or jawar or wheat into the powder. stone grinding. The upper part stone is circular and it rotates. The lower part circular stone is always fixed. It doesn't rotate. So it forms the base, it forms the substratum on which the upper circular part rotates, and these grains are grinded into powder. That is very common in our country in olden days. Nowadays, present generation, they don't even know this method of grinding food grains in the grinding stone. So the basal part, which statically remains without taking any activity, only the upper part circular stone revolves by your hand. So the basal part is called Kutastha. So that word is used in Vedanta. Kutastha means the one which is inside, ever shining, ever present, without any activity. It is a pure witness. So Ayamatma Kutastha San. Even though this Atma, this Parama Chaitanya is Kutastha, Nirvikari. It is actionless, motionless. It is pure witness. It is Parama Chaitanya, Parabrahma Vastu, Paramatma Vastu, Atma Vastu. Even though in spite of Kutastha San Ayamatma, even though this Atma is like that, like a Kutastha, what happens? Karta Bhokta Bhavati Upadistha. Karta Bhokta Bhavati Upadistha. That is a key phrase in the second line of the shloka. Because of the superimposition, false identification by the buddhi that I am the body, so the buddhi covers the Atma Vastu, the mind covers the Atma Vastu, and mind and buddhi, they totally identify that I am the body. I am not the Paramatma Swarupa. I am not the Atma Swarupa. So the reality is completely covered by the false identification. So the buddhi thinks that I am the body. Because of this delusion, because of the illusion, because of upadhi, superimposition, wrong idea that I am the body. Please remember, what is upadhi here? Buddhi thinks I am the body. Buddhi ಭ್ರಾಂತಿಯಿಂದ ಅಜ್ಞಾನದಿಂದ ನಾನು ದೇಹ ಅಂತ ನಂಬಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಆತ್ಮವಸ್ತು ಬೆಳಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೂ ಸಹ ಆತ್ಮನನ್ನ ಮುಚ್ಚಿದೆ. ತನ್ನದೇ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯ ಅಜ್ಞಾನದಿಂದ, ತಪ್ಪು ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ನಾನು ದೇಹ ಎನ್ನುವ ಭಾವನೆಯಿಂದ ಆತ್ಮವನ್ನು ಮುಚ್ಚಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಅರ್ಥ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಯೋಯಂ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಮಯ ಪ್ರಾಣೇಶು ಹೃದಯ ಸ್ಫುರತ್ ಅಯಂ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈನ್. Even though this Vijnanamaya Kosha, Buddhi, Spurati, Jyoti Spurati, Ayam, Praneshu plus Hrudi. ನಮ್ಮ ಹೃದಯದಲ್ಲಿ, ಪ್ರಾಣಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಮಯ ಕೋಶ ಎಂತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಈ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೂ ಸಹ ಇದೇ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಮಯ ಕೋಶ ತಪ್ಪು ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆಯಿಂದ, ಭ್ರಾಂತಿಯಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನು ಮರೆತಿದೆ. So even though this Vijnanamaya Kosha or the Buddhi or the intellect, it is radiating in all the Indriyas. Here Praneshu means all the Indriyas, Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, in the body and Hrudi, even in the heart. It is radiating, pulsating, illuminating because of the presence of Atma Vastu. In spite of that, because of Upadistha, Ayamatma Karta Bhokta Bhavati. That is the final point. So, because of wrong imposition or superimposition, the buddhi, your intellect, your own buddhi, thinks, I am the Karta, I am the Bhokta. ಈ ತಪ್ಪು ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ? ದೇಹವೇ ನಾನು ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋದು, ನಾನು ಕರ್ತ, ನಾನು ಭೋಕ್ತ ಅಂತ ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಪ್ರಾಣ ಹೋಗುವವರೆಗೆ. ಹುಟ್ಟಿನನ್ನಿನಿಂದ ಮರಣ ಬರೋವರೆಗೆ ನಾನು ಮಾಡುವವನು, ನಾನು ಕರ್ಮ ಮಾಡುವವನು, ಅದರ ಫಲವನ್ನು ನಾನು ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ, ಅನುಭವಿಸುವವನು. ಕರ್ತ ಅಂಡ್ ಭೋಕ್ತ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ದ ಡೂಯರ್, ಕರ್ತ. Bhokta means I enjoy the fruits of my own actions. So in Vedanta, simple example for karta means what exactly the buddhi thinks. Buddhi identifying with the body thinks at times I am sukhi. Your mind says, that is because of the buddhi. I am so happy. I am sukhi. At times, the buddhi gives you the impression, I am dukhi. I am suffering. I am not happy. By its own actions, that is exactly it. ಬುದ್ಧಿ ದೇಹವೇ ನಾನು ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾನು ಕರ್ತ, ನಾನು ಮಾಡುವವನು, ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ, ನಾನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅದ್ರ ಫಲ ನಾನೇ ಅನುಭವಿಸೋದು, ಅದು ಮರ್ತೋಗಿರೋದು. ತೊಂದರೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಭಗವಂತ ತೊಂದರೆ ಬಂತಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಗೋಳಾಡೋದು. ಸುಖ ಬಂದಾಗ, ಹೇರಳವಾಗಿ ಧನ ಬಂದಾಗ, ಹೇರಳವಾದಂತಹ ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠೆ, ಮಾನ, ಸನ್ಮಾನ, ಕೀರ್ತಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಭಗವಂತ ನಿನ್ನಿಂದ ಬಂತು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸಲ್ಲ. ಕೇವಲ ಸಂಕಟ ಬಂದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ವೆಂಕಟರಮಣ ಗಾದೆ. ಸೊ ದಿ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಡಸಂಟ್ ಫೀಲ್ grateful to the God when good things are happening. When you are enjoying yourself in the total pleasurable life, everything is happening according to your will and wish. You don't bother about anything. You don't even remember God. But you start remembering God when bad luck starts hitting, bringing crisis upon crisis, crisis upon crisis. Then the mind becomes indulgence. The buddhi also says, oh, all these things are happening in my life. So you are the bhokta. You are the enjoyer of the karma, the fruits of the karma we have done in this life or in the previous life. Either one. So that's what Acharya is hinting it about Vijnanamaya Kosha. Then he continues with that. ಸ್ವಯಂ ಪರಿಛೇದಮುಪೇತ್ಯ ಬುದ್ಧೇ ತಾದಾತ್ಮ್ಯ ದೋಷೇಣ ಪರಂ ಮೃಷಾತ್ಮನಃ ಸರ್ವಾತ್ಮಕಃ ಸನ್ನಪಿ ವೀಕ್ಷತೆ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಸ್ವತಃ ಪೃಥಕ್ತ್ವೇನ ಮೃದೋ ಘಟಾನಿವ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಶ್ಲೋಕ. ಸ್ವಯಂ ಪರಿಚ್ಛೇದಮುಪೇತ್ಯ ಬುದ್ಧೇ ತಾದಾತ್ಮ್ಯ ದೋಷೇಣ ಪರಂ ಮೃಷಾತ್ಮನಃ ಸರ್ವಾತ್ಮಕಃ ಸನ್ನಪಿ ವೀಕ್ಷತೆ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಸ್ವತಃ Pratakvena mrudo gataniva. In this shloka, Acharya is further explaining with an example. He says, Swayam parichedam upetya buddhe tadatmya doshena paramrushatmana. Paramrushatmana. By tadatmya dosha. Tadatmya dosha means, last time I had said, totally identifying with our body and mind. The buddhi thinks I am the body and mind. Inseparable union with the body. This physical body, I am this body. Nanu ee dehave. Nanu andre ee deha. Nanu andre intahavanu. ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ ಕ್ಷಣದಿಂದ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಬಂದಾಗಿನಿಂದ ಸಾಯೋ ತನಕ, ಮರಣ ಬರೋ ತನಕ ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ದೇಹ, ಶರೀರ, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಶರೀರ. ಇದು ತಾದಾತ್ಮ್ಯತೆ. ಶರೀರದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಅವಿನಾಭಾವ ಸಂಬಂಧ. ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇಹ ಅಂತ. ಇದು ತಾದಾತ್ಮ್ಯ ಭಾವ. ಈ ಸುಳ್ಳು ತಾದಾತ್ಮ್ಯ ಭಾವದಿಂದ, ಈ ಸುಳ್ಳು ಭಾವದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಸ್ವಯಂ ಪರಿಚೇದಂ ಉಪೇತ್ಯ ಬುದ್ಧಿ, ಈ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯ ಒಂದು ಪರಿಚ್ಛಿನ್ನವಾದಂತಹ, ಕೇವಲ ದೇಹಕ್ಕೆ ಸೀಮಿತವಾಗಿರೋದು ಪರಿಚ್ಛಿನ್ನ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯ ಪ್ರಭಾವದಿಂದ ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇಹ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಾದಾತ್ಮ್ಯ ದೋಷದಿಂದ ಇದು ಈ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಆತ್ಮನನ್ನು ಆವರಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಸರ್ವಾತ್ಮಕ ಹಿ ಸನ್ನಪಿ ವೀಕ್ಷತೆ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಸ್ವತಃ ಪೃಥಕ್ವೇನ ಮೃದೋ ಘಟಾನಿವ. ತನ್ನನ್ನು ತಾನು ಬೇರೆಯವನು ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಬುದ್ಧಿ. ಸರ್ವಾತ್ಮಕ ಸನ್, ಅಪಿ ಸರ್ವವ್ಯಾಪಿಯಾಗಿ ಅಂತರ್ಯಾಮಿಯಾಗಿ ಸರ್ವಾತ್ಮ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಆತ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪನೇ ನಾನು. ಆತ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ಪರಿಚ್ಛಿನ್ನ ಭಾವ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಖಂಡ ಭಾವ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಖಂಡ ವಸ್ತು ಅಂತ ಇದ್ರೂ ಸಹ ಆತ್ಮನು ಸ್ವಯಂ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಯಾಗಿ ಪರಿಪೂರ್ಣನಾಗಿದ್ರೂ ಸಹ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ತಪ್ಪು ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ನಾನು ಬೇರೆ, ಸ್ವಯಂ ಸ್ವತಃ ಪೃಥಕ್ವೇನ, ನಾನು ಬೇರೆ, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇಹ, ನಾನು ಬೇರೆ, ಅವರು ಬೇರೆ, ಇವರು ಬೇರೆ, ನೀವು ಬೇರೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವ. ಇದು ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಕೆಲಸ ಅಂತ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಶ್ರೀ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಇಸ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಸಚ್ ಎ ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹಿಯರ್. In spite of the Atma Vastu, the reality shining inside, which is totally omnipresent, omniscient, and it is Sat Swarupa, Chit Swarupa, Jnana Swarupa, or Ananda Swarupa, eternal. It has neither birth nor death. It remains in the same way all the time without any change. In spite of the Buddhi, Vijnanamaya Kosha, by superimposing itself on this Atma, thinks, I am the body, I am the body, and I am different from others. The Buddhi gives the feeling that I am different from others. I am different from you, you are different from me. Everything is different. See, this Dvaita Bhava, Buddhi generates this duality concept till the death. Because Buddhi says, I am this body. Please understand this correct. Buddhi has identified because of false identification, because of ajnana, because of ignorance. I am the body. So, what do you say? You don't normally say that I and my wife are one. You never say I and my son or I and my daughter, they are one and the same. You never say that I and my father are one. You never say I and my mother are one. You will never say I and my friend are one. And you will never say I and my enemy, they are one only. You will never say that. You may say now for the sake of, because you are hearing, yes sir, we understand, we are all one. But please think practically. Have you ever thought that? No, because you know that you are an entity. You have a name. Your body weight is so much. You have a status. You are a man. You are a woman. You are different from your own people. How can they be you? Correct? ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿರೋರು ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಬೇರೆ ನಾನು ಬೇರೆ. ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ತಂದೆ ಒಂದೇ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ತಾಯಿ ಒಂದೇ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಒಂದೇ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರ್ರಿ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ? ಹಾಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನೋಡೋರು ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಹುಚ್ಚ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರಲ್ವಾ. ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಮಗಳು ಒಂದೇ, ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಶತ್ರು ಒಂದೇ, ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಮಿತ್ರ ಒಂದೇ ಅಂತ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ದಿ ಬುದ್ಧಿ thinks that it is totally by itself different. It is different from others. That is the meaning in the shloka here. Sarvatmakaha san api. Ellavanu ತಿಳಿದಿದ್ರು. By knowing everything, the buddhi, vijnanamaya kosha, swayam swatah pratakwena vikshate. Swayam swatah pratakwena vikshate. It identifies itself as a different entity from others. This is the effect of false identification. Why? Because I am the body, and the bodies cannot be similar, correct? Logical. Your body cannot be the same as your father's body, or your daughter's body, or your husband's body. So, this is exactly what Acharya is hinting here. So, in spite of pure consciousness, Atma Vastu is shining inside, the Buddhi is superimposing itself that I am the body. So the Atma is there as a witness, just a witness. It is covered by this ajnana because of Maya, Avarana dosha and Vikshepa dosha. Please always remember why it is happening. Because of Bhranti, because of Maya, because of delusion, because of illusion. All these words ultimately mean the same. So Acharya is hinting that point. And he gives an example in the last line. Swayam swatah pratakwena vikshate mrudo ghataniva. Mrudo ghataniva is an example Acharya is giving. ಹಾಗಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಅಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳು, ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು 1200 ವರ್ಷದ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಣ್ಣಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ ವಸ್ತುಗಳಲ್ವಾ, ಗಡಿಗೆ, ತಟ್ಟೆ, ಲೋಟ, ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ವಸ್ತು. ಅವ ಅಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಹೇಳ್ತಾನಂತೆ, ಇದು ಗಡಿಗೆ, ಇದು ತಟ್ಟೆ, ಇದು ಲೋಟ. ಅವನ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಆಕಾರದ ಮೇಲಿದೆ. ಜ್ಞಾನಿಯಾದವನು, ಒಬ್ಬ ಕುಂಬಾರ, ಅವನ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಬೇರೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಗಡಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೂ, ತಟ್ಟೆ ಅಂದ್ರೂ, ಲೋಟ ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು ಇದು ಜೇಡಿ ಮಣ್ಣಿಂದ ಮಾಡಲ್ಪಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ಇದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ಇರೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಣ್ಣೇ ಅಂತ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು. ಅವನ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇದೆ. ಕುಂಬಾರನ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಒಳಗಿನ ಪದಾರ್ಥದ ಮೇಲಿದೆ, ಅಜ್ಞಾನಿಯ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಹೊರಗಿನ ಆಕಾರದ ಮೇಲಿದೆ. ಈ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಅಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಗಡಿಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಮಣ್ಣು ಬೇರೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾನೋ, ಸಿ ದಿಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಇಸ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ 1200 years before example. Just like a normal man, a Mudamate, who is not spiritually evolved, spiritually blind, ajnani, looking at the different varieties of pots and plates made of clay, he says, yeah, it's a pot. It's a pot, he identifies. Whereas the person who is well versed in preparation of the pots, a potter knows whether it is a pot or a lota or a tumbler or a plate, it is all made up of clay. Only a potter can understand that inner point. Whereas ordinary person cannot understand that everything is made up of clay. The clay is the nimitta karana and upadana karana for all the varieties of the different types of the pots and clay, the tumblers, plates, etc. varieties. So that is the example. That is the example Acharya has given. Upadi sambandha vashat paratma upadi dharman anubhati tad gunaha ayo vikaran avikarivat nivat sadaika rupopi parasvabhavat. Upadi sambandha vashat paratma upadi dharman anubhati tad gunaha ayo vikaran avikarivat nivat Sadaika rupopi parasvabhavat. Again, he is making very clear. Because of upadhi, superimposition, false imposition, false remembering, false identification, that I am the body. So because of the upadhi sambandha vashat, paratma upadi dharman anubhati tadgunaha. Paratma Anubhati upadi dharman tadgunah anubhati. This Atma Vastu, because of the superimposition of the Buddhi on the Atma Vastu, the Buddhi covering the Atma forms the Jiva. So this Jiva Bhava, Buddhi here means Jiva. It is covering completely your Atma Vastu. So because of this Buddhi influence, Atma, even though it is nirvikari, it captures and acquires all the characters of that particular individual. It behaves and denotes, it acts, whatever the dharma and the guna, the qualities are there, the attributes are there of that individual. Because of the buddhi. Upadiya sambandhaದಿಂದ, ತಪ್ಪು ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆಯಿಂದ, ಆ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯ ಪ್ರಭಾವದಿಂದ, ಆಯಾ ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಆತ್ಮವಸ್ತು ತಾನು ಆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ಧರ್ಮಗಳನ್ನ, ಗುಣಗಳನ್ನ ಆತ್ಮವಸ್ತು ಅನುಸರಿಸುತ್ತದೆ. ಆತ್ಮ ಸ್ವತಃ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಆತ್ಮನ ಮೇಲೆ ಸವಾರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ಗುಣಧರ್ಮಗಳನ್ನ ಅನುಸರಿಸ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಬುದ್ಧಿ. Everybody has their own specific characters, attributes. They are different from other individuals. So a person may be full of tamoguna, a person may be full of sattva-guna, a person may be full of rajoguna. All the three are there, but the domination percentage varies accordingly depending on the actions. So the buddhi performs all the actions and the Atma simply follows. It is only a witness. Atma will not do anything. Buddhi thinks I am doing. So that is the point. So he gives an example here. Ayo vikaran avikarimannivat sadaika rupopi parasvabhavat. Even though Atma Vastu is sadaika rupaha, Sachidananda rupaha, nirvikaraha, nischalaha, shuddhaha, buddhaha, Sachidananda swarupaha, sadaika rupopi parasvabhava. Even though the Atma Vastu inside is all that, it is completely covered by the buddhi, and whatever buddhi is doing, it is just observing, just witnessing, that's all. Like he gives example, ayo vikaran avikari vannivat. Just like in the iron factory, iron and steel factory. Last time Acharya had given this example. See, the hot molten iron from the iron ore in the furnace, it can be molded into red hot iron filings, iron rods, iron long metal sheets, or flat metal sheets, or circular sheets. Every sheet, the iron rods, circular rods, they are so red hot, and by compressing, by pressing, by hitting on them, it can be molded into any shape you want. See, the fire, Agni is there in the iron. That is why the iron looks red hot. Normally it is black. ಕಾರ್ಖಾನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕರಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಈ ಕಬ್ಬಿಣದ ರಸ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಕೆಂಪು ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಗ್ನಿ ಇದೆ, ಆ ದಾಹಕ ತತ್ವ ಇದೆ. ಆ ಕೆಂಪಿಗೆ ಸುಡ್ತಾ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಆ ಕಬ್ಬಿಣದ ರಸವನ್ನ ನೀವು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಾರು ಮಣಿಸಬಹುದು. ಅದನ್ನ ಉತ್ತವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ವರ್ತುಲಾಕಾರ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಚಪ್ಪಟೆ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಕಾರ್ಖಾನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ, ಉಕ್ಕಿನ ಕಾರ್ಖಾನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಫರ್ನೇಸ್ ಇಂದ ಬರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಕರಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಕೆಂಪನೆಯ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಶಾಖಭರಿತವಾದಂತಹ ಆ ಕಬ್ಬಿಣದ ರಸ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಮೋಲ್ಟನ್ ಐರನ್, ನೀವು ಹೇಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಅದನ್ನ ಬಳಸಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಗ್ನಿ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ರೂಪವನ್ನು ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಗ್ನಿಗೆ ರೂಪ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಕಬ್ಬಿಣಕ್ಕೆ ರೂಪ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಕೆಂಪಗೆ ಅಗ್ನಿ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಹೊಳಿತಾ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. So in spite of unchanging its perfect nature, because of superimposition, because of upadhi, it by mistake it assumes all the characters and gunas of that individual. So about Vijnanamaya Kosha, in detail Acharya has given. Next shloka is so interesting. Please follow through. Very, very important. Very deep analytical shloka. Because if you are a very keen observer, if you are a keen mumukshu, if you are a keen listener, you will understand this shloka correctly. Now the Shishya, the mumukshu, well-qualified disciple, sitting at the lotus feet of the Sadguru, now he takes up a doubt after listening. Now he puts a question. ಈಗ ಶಿಷ್ಯ ಗಂಭೀರ ಪ್ರಸನ್ನತೆಯಿಂದ ತನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಯನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಮುಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ. ಶಿಷ್ಯ ಉವಾಚ ಭ್ರಮೇಣಾಪ್ಯನ್ಯಥಾ ವಾ ಅಸ್ತು ಜೀವಭಾವ ಪರಾತ್ಮನಃ ತದುಪಾಧೇರನಾದಿತ್ವಾತ್ ಅನಾಧೇರ್ನಾಶ ಇಷ್ಯತೆ. ಭ್ರಮೇಣಾಪ್ಯನ್ಯಥಾ ವಾ ಅಸ್ತು ಜೀವಭಾವಃ ಪರಾತ್ಮನಃ ತದುಪಾಧೇರ್ ಅನಾದಿತ್ವಾತ್ ಅನಾದೇರ್ನಾಶ ಇಷ್ಯತೆ. Hey Sadguru, you have said all these things. I'm trying to understand, but there is a doubt. You said that this jiva bhava, jivatma bhava, superimposition, this upadhi is anadi. It is from beginningless time, it is there in the human birth. From so many births, the same thing is happening. Ajnana is continuing because of upadhi. So it is beginningless. This ajnana is beginningless, you said earlier. It is anadi. It is timeless, you said. Whether this is either due to Brahma or Anyathava, either if it is due to delusion or by any other reason, the point is you said it is anadi. It is beginningless. It may be due to illusion. It may be due to Maya, whatever the reason may be. But you said, Sadguru, this is beginningless, timeless. This Jiva Bhava, Jivatva Bhava, that is Buddhi identifying with the body. This Jiva Bhava, Jivatva, Buddhi identifying with the body, Aham plus Mama, me and mine concept. You said it is Anadi. It is there since so many births, previous births. Whatever may be the reason. Whatever may be the reason. Brahma, Brahmena, api anyathava, astu jiva bhava paratmanaha, tat upader anaditvat, anader nasha ishyate. Since it is timeless, beginningless, how this upadhi, this ajnana, I am the body, how this jiva bhava, jivatva, buddhi, thinking that I am the body, this will be vanished. Since it is anadi, beginningless, how it will vanish? It will remain in the next thousands and thousands of future birth also. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಶಿಷ್ಯನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಹಳ ಗಂಭೀರವಾದಂತಹ, ಅತ್ಯಂತ ತಾರ್ಕಿಕವಾದಂತಹ, ಮಾರ್ಮಿಕವಾದಂತಹ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ. ಈ ಉಪಾಧಿ ತಪ್ಪು ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಬುದ್ಧಿ, ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಮಯ ಕೋಶ, ದೇಹವೇ ನಾನು, ನಾನು ಮತ್ತು ನನ್ನದು ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವ, ಈ ಜೀವ ಭಾವ ಅಂತಾರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ನಾನು ನನ್ನದು ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಜೀವ ಭಾವ. ಈ ಜೀವತ್ವವನ್ನ ತಪ್ಪು ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಪಡೆದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರೇ, ಇದು ಅನಾದಿ ಕಾಲದಿಂದ ಇದೆ, ಸಾವಿರಾರು ಜನ್ಮಗಳಿಂದ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇದು ಅನಾದಿ ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಇದು ಹೋಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಉಳಿಯತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಮುಂದಿನ ಜನ್ಮಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಉಳಿಯತ್ತಲ್ವಾ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾಶ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ? ಈ ಉಪಾಧಿಗೆ ನಾಶವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಹೇಳೋ ಪ್ರಕಾರ. ಮುಂದಿನ ಅದೇ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಶಿಷ್ಯ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನ ವಿವರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಥೋಸ್ಯ ಜೀವ ಭಾವೋಪಿ ನಿತ್ಯೋ ಭವತಿ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿ ನ ನಿವರ್ತೇತ ತನ್ಮೋಕ್ಷಃ ಕಥಂ ಮೇ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರೋ ವದ. ಅಥೋ ಅಸ್ಯ ಜೀವ ಭಾವೋಪಿ ನಿತ್ಯೋ ಭವತಿ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿ ನ ನಿವರ್ತೇತ ತನ್ಮೋಕ್ಷಃ ಕಥಂ ಮೇ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರೋ ವದ. ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರೋ ವದ. Sadguru, please tell me. Shri Guru, Sadguru, please tell me. What is the question? Nitya bhavati samsrutihi na nivarteta. Key phrases in the shloka. Shishya says, Nitya bhavati samsrutihi na nivarteta. So the samsara becomes nitya, eternal, continuous. This life and death cycle will not go away. It is continuous. It goes on and on and on. ಈ ಸಂಸಾರದ ಗತಿ ನಿತ್ಯವಾಗಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊನೆನೇ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ. ಅನಾದಿ ಅಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊನೆನೇ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು ಸಂಸಾರ ಚಕ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಕೊಂಡಿದೀವಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಜನ್ಮ ಜನ್ಮಗಳು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ತನ್ಮೋಕ್ಷಃ ಕಥಂ, ಇದರಿಂದ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಹೇಗೆ? So tanmokshah katham guru vada. So how emancipation will occur, Sadguru? Please tell me. How I can be liberated? Please tell me. If this is anadi, if this is continuous, the cycle continues. Atosya jiva bhavopi nityo bhavati. If this jiva bhava, because of whatever the reason, if it is because of adhyasa, wrong identification, I am the body, if this continues, where can there be moksha? How liberation will occur? Katham mokshaha Sri Guru vada. Please, Sadguru, this is the shanka, doubt I have in my mind. Please, I beseech you, I beg you to explain this. See, this is a beautiful question. Then the next shloka again, Sadguru starts. Explain. Shri Guru Uvacha. Please remember, sometimes some small questions will come. They either by WhatsApp or by phone call. About small things about Vivek Chodamanis, about Vedantic words, about the interpretations. It's because some of us, since we don't have the background of Vedanta, these doubts will come. And some of us, we have a tendency to forget. If I say something today in the discourse, tomorrow it is forgot, conveniently forgot. After 1 week, totally forgot. After 1 month, completely forgot. Oh, what words I can use. So small doubts will come here and there. Sri Guru Uvacha. Please remember earlier I had made very clear one of the famous Vyakhyanas, one of the famous points by Mahaswami Sri Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal of Sringeri Sharada Peetham on the word Shri. Why the Shri is added to Guru? The Guru is called Shri Guru. Long back, this was there in Vivek Chodamani, it was explained. Shri Guru Uvacha. I'll just summarize that. I will not explain in detail, it will take a lot of time. Shri word, the word Shri refers to normally Aishwarya, wealth, Sampattu, Dhana, in your normal sense. The highest wealth, the precious wealth, you can say, Shri. In Vedantic sense, what is this Dhana, Sampattu, precious wealth? Shri means Sadguru is the total embodiment. He is a personification of the entire Upanishad Jnana. Entire Upanishad Jnana. Upanishad is nothing but Jnana. So, Sadguru is himself is a Jnana Swarupa. He is Parabrahma Swarupa. He is Sat Swarupa. Sadguru is Sat Swarupa. He is a knowledge himself, the eternal knowledge himself, the pure Jnana himself. He is Sat means eternal, never changing, always present, no birth and no death. Sat means knowledge, pure knowledge, Jnana. Ananda, pure bliss, absolute Sukha. This word Sukha or bliss cannot be equated in your worldly sense. It is beyond that. Ananda. Brahmananda it is called. These words I can only say, but how to experience? Until you experience this Brahmananda or Nijananda or Paramananda cannot be explained. You have to experience yourself by the grace of the Sadguru, by the grace of the Guru, by the grace of the Lord. So, Shri means he is the embodiment. He is a Sat Swarupa, Chit Swarupa, Jnana Swarupa, Ananda Swarupa, and he is the embodiment of pure Jnana, knowledge. He is a Shrotriya, embodiment of Upanishad Jnana. That is the word Shri denotes. So that is why Sadguru is called Shri Guru. Sadguru is called Shri Guru. You remember I had referred this point long. Our daily prayer, every one of us will pray. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Deva Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma. Hint is there only. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Why it is called Shri Guru? Because he is Sakshat Parabrahma. It is there in the shloka itself. Only thing we have to apply our mind by the grace of the Guru. If the shloka is understood, then you know what is Guru Tattva. What is Sadguru Tattva? What is Brahma Padartha? So now the immensely pleased Sadguru answers the question to the disciple. Samyak prushtam tvaya vidvan savadhanena tat shrunu pramaniki na bhavati bhrantya mohita kalpana. Samyak prushtam tvaya vidvan savadhanena tat shrunu pramaniki na bhavati bhrantya mohita kalpana. Very simple shloka. Acharya says he is immensely pleased. He says, Vidwan, look, my dear learned disciple, you are real mumukshu. You have understood the basics of Vedanta. So he calls him as Vidwan. So look, learned one, it is so nice, beautifully you have asked this question. It's a wonderful question you have asked. ಬಹಳ ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಯನ್ನು ಎತ್ತಿದ್ದೀಯಪ್ಪ. ಜ್ಞಾನವಂತನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಸತ್ ಶಿಷ್ಯನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ನೀನು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಯನ್ನು ಎತ್ತಿದ್ದೀಯಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ಕೇವಲ ಭ್ರಾಂತಿಯಿಂದ, ಮೋಹದಿಂದ ವಸ್ತು ನಿಜ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ವಸ್ತು ನಿಜ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಬಿಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಭ್ರಾಂತಿ. ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಕಲ್ಪನೆಗಳು ಏನಿದೆಯೋ ಅದು ನಿಜವಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಗುರುಗಳು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಸದ್ಗುರು ಸೇಸ್, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್, ಬಟ್ ಲಿಸನ್ ಅಟೆಂಟಿವ್ಲಿ. ಸಾವಧಾನೇನ ತಚ್ಛೃಣು. ಸೊ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಶ್ಲೋಕಾಸ್, ಲಿಸನ್ ಅಟೆಂಟಿವ್ಲಿ, ನಾಟ್ ಹಿಯರಿಂಗ್. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಲಿಸನ್, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಲಿಸನ್. ತಚ್ಛೃಣು ಸಾವಧಾನೇನ, ಸಮಾಧಾನದಿಂದ ತನ್ಮಯತೆಯಿಂದ ಕೇಳು. ಏನು? ಸಮ ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಕೀ ನ ಭವತಿ ಭ್ರಾಂತ್ಯಾ ಮೋಹಿತ ಕಲ್ಪನಾ. ದ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನೇಷನ್, ದಿ ಫಾಲ್ಸ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್, ದಿ ಫಾಲ್ಸ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರಿಂಗ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ಡೆಲ್ಯೂಷನ್, ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ಭ್ರಾಂತಿ, ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ಇಲ್ಯೂಷನ್, ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ಮೋಹ, ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಮೋಹ means attachment to the body and to my kids and kins. Me and mine, that is attachment, that is moha. Repeatedly the words in Vedanta use, especially Acharya Bhagavad Pada uses the word moha. Moha, attachment. Me and mine, me and mine. ನಾನು ನನ್ನದು, ನಾನು ನನ್ನದು ಅನ್ನೋದೇ ಮೋಹ ಅಂತ ಸೂತ್ರ ಭಾಷ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆಯ ಉಪೋದ್ಘಾತದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸಂಸಾರ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಶೋಕ ಮತ್ತು ಮೋಹ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಮೋಹ ಶಬ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಹಳ ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ಮೋಹ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಭ್ರಾಂತಿ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಡಿಲ್ಯೂಷನ್, ಫಾಲ್ಸ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್. ಸೊ ಯುವರ್ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನೇಷನ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಾಲ್ಸ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ರಿಯಲ್. ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕಿ ನ ಭವತಿ. This is not real. What you are thinking is not real. It is not valid. It is not correct. It cannot be the fact that I am the body. Whatever the buddhi, jiva thinks, it is not real. I am the body. It is not a fact. Only by moha and by bhranti, jiva, this jivatma is thinking like that. Your buddhi, jiva means buddhi, superimposing itself on the atma, thinking like that, I am the body. No, it is not like that. It is not like that. Bhrantim vinatva sangasya nishkriyasya nirakruteh na ghatetartha sambandho navaso neelatadivat. Bhrantim vinatu asangasya nishkriyasya nirakruteh na ghatetartha sambandho ನಭಸೋ ನೀಲತಾದಿವತ್. ಕೇವಲ ಭ್ರಾಂತಿಯಿಂದ ನಿಷ್ಕ್ರಿಯನೋ, ನಿರಂಜನನೋ, ಅಸಂಗನೋ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆತ್ಮವನ್ನ ನಾನು ದೇಹ ಅಂತ ತಪ್ಪು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಆತ್ಮ ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದೇಹ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಆತ್ಮನ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಆರೋಪಿತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಆತ್ಮನ ಮೇಲೆ ಆರೋಪಿತ. ಇದು ಉಪಾಧಿ. ಅಜ್ಞಾನದಿಂದ, ಭ್ರಾಂತಿಯಿಂದ. ಭ್ರಾಂತಿಂ ವಿನಾ, ಈ ಭ್ರಾಂತಿಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಯಾವುದು ಅಸಂಗ, ಯಾವುದು ನಿಷ್ಕ್ರಿಯ, ಯಾವುದು ನಿರಾಕಾರ ತತ್ವ, ಭ್ರಾಂತಿಯಿಂದ ಇದು ದೇಹ, ಇದು ದೇಹ, ಇದು ನನ್ನ ದೇಹ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಕೇವಲ ಭ್ರಾಂತಿಯಿಂದ. ಇದು ಯಾಕೆ? ಇದು ಈ ಭ್ರಾಂತಿಯಿಂದ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? ನಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ದೃಶ್ಯಗಳು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆಯಾಗಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನ ಘಟೇತಾರ್ಥ ಸಂಬಂಧೋ ನಭಸೋ ನೀಲತಾದಿವತ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ಆಕಾಶವನ್ನ ನಾವು ಬೆಳಗಿನ ಹೊತ್ತು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ನೀಲಿಯಾಗಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ ಕೆಲವು ಸಲ. ಕೆಲವು ಸಲ ಬೆಳಗಿನ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ, ಪ್ರಾತಃ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ, ಸಾಯಂ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಂಪಾಗಿ, ಅಥವಾ ಹಳದಿ ವರ್ಣ, ಅಥವಾ ರಕ್ತಗೆಂಪು ವರ್ಣ, ಅಥವಾ ಹೊಂಬಣ್ಣದ ವರ್ಣ ಕಾಣುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಆಕಾಶ. ಉಳಿದ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀಲಿಯಾಗಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಶುಭ್ರವಾದ ಆಕಾಶ. ವಸ್ತುತಃ ಆಕಾಶಕ್ಕೆ ಬಣ್ಣ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಭ್ರಾಂತಿ. ಆ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ದೃಶ್ಯ ನ ಘಟೇತ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಸಂಬಂಧ. ಈ ಅರ್ಥ ಸಂಬಂಧ ನಮಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಭ್ರಾಂತಿಯಿಂದ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಆಕಾಶ ನೀಲಿ, ಆಕಾಶ ಕೆಂಪು, ಆಕಾಶ ಹಳದಿ, ಆಕಾಶಕ್ಕೆ ಗುಲಾಬಿ ಬಣ್ಣ ಇದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರಕ್ತ ಬಣ್ಣ ವರ್ಣ ಇದೆ. ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಭ್ರಾಂತಿ. ಆ ಉದಾಹರಣೆಯಿಂದ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಈ ಭ್ರಾಂತಿಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ದೇಹ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಹಾಗೇನೆ Acharya is giving the example here. He is taking a beautiful example. Even today, it is valid 100%. When we look at the sky during summer days, when the sky is clear, how it looks so beautifully bluish in color. So the bluish color is fascinating. In the early morning, at this time of the sunrise, or in the late evening at the time of sunset also, when we look at the sky, different shades of colors are seen in the sky. The sky may appear reddish hue color, reddish brown, dark red, pink color, yellowish, golden yellow color. How beautiful the artistic color patterns are there in the sky. Every day, most of you must have seen that. So we say sky is blue, sky is red. See, these words we are using, looking at the sky. But practically, there is no color. There is no illusion, color illumination in the sky. Sky is an open void. Only when you are traveling in a spacecraft, only the astronauts, when they leave the Earth's surface, they will understand the beauty, the concept of the space. Space is a totally dark, no illumination of any light. You know that very well. So that example Acharya is giving. Just like by Bhranti, see, our own ajnana, we say sky is blue, sky is red. Same, in the same sense, by delusion, we think that Atma is body. We think like Atma is body itself. So he continues. स्वस्य द्रष्टुर्निर्गुणस्य अक्रियस्य प्रत्यग्बोधानन्दरूपस्य बुद्धेः भ्रान्त्या प्राप्तो जीवभावो न सत्यो मोहापाये न अस्ति अवस्तु स्वभावात्. स्वस्य द्रष्टुर्निर्गुणस्याक्रियस्य प्रत्यग्बोधानन्दरूपस्य बुद्धेः भ्रान्त्या प्राप्तो जीवभावो न सत्यो मोहापाये न अस्ति अवस्तु स्वभावात्. In this sloka, he is making it further very clear. He says, see, the jivahood or jivatma bhava, that is, jivatma bhava means buddhi identifying itself, covering the atma sarupa, buddhi identifying itself as the physical body complex. So this is called jivatma bhava or jiva bhava or jivahood. So this is by delusion, which is actually atma vastu is nirguna akriyasya pratyak bodhananda rupasya. As I earlier said, the atma vastu, parabrahma vastu inside is sat chit ananda swarupa, nijabodha swarupa, nijananda swarupa, pratyak bodhananda rupaha. With all that, it is nirguna akriya. It is formless. Nirguna means formless, shapeless, bodiless, no attributes. It has no characters. Akriyase, it is inert. It is motionless in the highest parimarthic sense. It is ever existing in its own way as it is. There is no birth, there is no death. It is ever present in its own self-shining, radiating Atma Vastu, Paramatma Vastu. Swasya. Swasya here means for such a Atma Vastu, buddhe bhrantya prapto jiva bhavo na satyaha. Because of the buddhi, vijnanamaya kosha, this intellect covering the such an Atma, this Atma Swarupa has acquired the Jiva Bhava. It thinks that it is the Atma, the body itself. That is the Buddhi saying like that. Covering completely the Atma Vastu, Buddhi is identifying itself that I am this body. So that is Jiva Bhava. So, na satyaha brantya praptaha jiva bhavaha na satyaha, Acharya says. So, by Bhranti, delusion, it has come, but it is not real. Nodappa Shishya, kevala Bhranti inda Nishkriya, Nishkala, Niranjana Swarupa, Avikari, Nirguna Swarupa, ಗುಣಾತೀತನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ರೂಪ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ನಾಮ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಅವಿಕಾರಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಅಪರಿಚ್ಛಿನ್ನವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅಖಂಡವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಏಕವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಆತ್ಮವಸ್ತುವನ್ನ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಆವರಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಆವರಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಭ್ರಾಂತಿಯಿಂದ ಜೀವ ಭಾವವನ್ನು ತಗೊಂತಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಸತ್ಯ ಅಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ದೇಹ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಸೇರಿ, ಅದು ಸತ್ಯ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಭ್ರಾಂತಿ. ಅದು ಬುದ್ಧಿಯ ಭ್ರಾಂತಿ. ಇದು ಮೋಹ, ಇದು ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಸೇಸ್ ಭ್ರಾಂತ್ಯ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ತೋ ಜೀವಭಾವೋ ನ ಸತ್ಯ ಮೋಹಾಪಾಯೇನ ಅಸ್ತಿ ಅವಸ್ತು ಸ್ವಭಾವಾತ್. ಸ್ವಭಾವಾತ್ ಅವಸ್ತು ಮೋಹ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಅಪಾಯೇ ನ ಅಸ್ತಿ. ಬೈ ನೇಚರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ unreal. This body concept, I am the body, this physical body, I am the mind, I am the body. So the tadatmya between buddhi and body, this itself is unreal by nature, because this will die one day, this will vanish one day, this will disappear one day. This is born, the body is born along with buddhi and mind. The same body along with mind and buddhi will die one day. ಇದು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದೆ ದೇಹ. ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಮತ್ತು ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ದೇಹ ಹುಟ್ಟಿರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಸಾವಿದೆ, ಗತಿ ಇದೆ. ಇದು ಶಾಶ್ವತ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಜೀವಭಾವದಿಂದ ನಾನು ದೇಹ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಭ್ರಾಂತಿ. ಈ ಭ್ರಾಂತಿ, ಈ ಮೋಹ, ಈ ತಾದಾತ್ಮ್ಯ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಶರೀರ, ನಾನು ನನ್ನವರು, ನಾನು ನನ್ನವರು, ಇದು ಮೋಹ, ಬಲವಾದ ವ್ಯಾಮೋಹ. ಈ ಮೋಹ ಕಳೆದಾಗ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಉಂಟಾದಾಗ, ಈ ಅಜ್ಞಾನ ಎಂಬ ಮೋಹ ಕತ್ತರಿಸಿದರೆ ಆವಾಗ ಈ ಭ್ರಾಂತಿ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ. ಮೋಹ ಅಪಾಯೇ ನ ಅಸ್ತಿ ಅವಸ್ತು ಸ್ವಭಾವಾತ್. ದಿಸ್ ಅವಸ್ತು ನ ಅಸ್ತಿ ಮೋಹ ಅಪಾಯೇ. ವೆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್ is cut, this Bhranti delusion will not remain. What does it mean ultimately? It means highest Parimarthic truth. Mohapaye na asti avastu swabhavat. Last line. That means till the jnana dawns, duality persists. I am the body feeling persists. Mind and the buddhi identifies with the body. Only at the attainment of reality, jnana, by the Sadguru grace or the grace of Bhagavan, Lord, this attachment is gone. Mentally it is gone. Then the entity, the individual, no more will be deluded. No more he will be under Bhranti. No more the moha will attack him. He goes beyond this. This is called the Maya Bandhana being disrobed. The Maya will vanish by the grace of the Lord, by the grace of the Guru, at the time of the jnana, at the time of the dawn of the jnana. Only at the time of realization, this Maya will be cut. This moha will be cut. Till then it persists. Then you will know that you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the buddhi, you are not anything. See, to understand this, there is a beautiful two phrases used by Garga Maharshi. In Garga Samhita it is there. There are two important, highest Parimarthic sense phrases used by Garga Maharshi, recorded in Garga Samhita. The statements are, the phrases are, number one, Ahame Tanna. I repeat, Ahame Tanna. Second statement, the phrase tadaham, taddaham, taddaham, taddaham. Now, what is this ahametanna? First statement. Ahametanna, if you split, ahametanna means aham plus etat plus na. I repeat. Ahametanna means aham plus etat plus na. Ahametanna. What does it mean? ಅಹಂ ಏತತ್ ನ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ಇದ್ಯಾವುದು ನಾನಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಆಡು ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಹಂ ನಾನು, ಏತತ್ ನ ಇದ್ಯಾವುದು ನಾನಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಡಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್? ಅಹಂ ಏತತ್ ನ ಅಹಮೇತನ್ನ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಎಟ್ ಆಲ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಯು ಎ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ. A mumukshu, a serious sadhaka, went near a great personality, Purushottama, standing silently without talking, with mandasmita bhava, with a silent smile on a face, serene smile on the face, half eyes were closed. He was almost like in a deep samadhi, radiating that bliss, that feeling of happiness around him. This mumukshu went, this sadhaka went. With folded hands, he went on asking questions. First, that Mahatman never answered. He was simply standing, smiling, half smile. By persistent question, then out of compassion, Mahatman started answering. So the questions were like this, from this sadhaka. Are you this body? No. Single word answer. Are you male? No. Are you human being? No. Are you a brahmachari, Mahatman? No. Are you a married person? No. Are you a vanaprasthi? No. Are you a jnani? No. Are you ajnani? No. Are you light? No. Are you darkness? No. The sadhaka was totally surprised, dismayed. Only the answer, no word used to come. Then finally, with a folded hands, he asked, Mahatman, please tell me who you are then. Who you are, please tell me. Then there was mauna, total silence. Total silence. Again, this sadhaka persisted earnestly with the folded hands. Please tell me who you are. 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 With final compassion and mercy, the Mahatman said only one phrase. I am that. Tat plus aham. Aham tat. Tat plus aham joined together, it forms tadaham. Tadaham. So the Mahatman said tadaham. Earlier, for all the questions, he went on saying ahametanna. Are you man? Ahametanna. Are you woman? Ahametanna. Are you a jnani? Ahametanna. So for all the questions, he used to say ahametanna. Finally, for the question who you are, the Mahatman said tadaham. Tadaham. Tat plus aham. Aham. Tat. I am that only. That is the answer. Beyond that, no answer. So these are the things we have to remember in our life. By Sadguru grace, today we are stopping at shloka number 196 with a short Rama bhajan. Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Hari Om Tat Sat Om Namo Bhagavate Virageshwara. Hari Om.